Just taking a look at the Forsaken lobby, you can tell something isn't right. This game definitely has a lot of backstory behind it. In today's video, I'll be diving deep into Guest 666, an upcoming killer, and Noob's lore. These two have the same story. Will we be able to solve it today? Find out in this video. Starting off, in the lobby, there's already two things that we can look at that will reveal a bunch of lore for us. In the slasher update, if you go right by the shore, you will actually see this picture. It actually works like an NPC, so if we click on it, we can actually read some stuff. Photo, you notice an accidentally dropped picture. It appears to be a photo of Noob with 3 other figures in front of them. You turn over the photo to see writing in the back. Hey Sixer, by the way, Sixer is Guest 666. One day, I'll be able to introduce you to these guys. They've really helped me since that day, but it's not the same without you. I hope one day I can show you all the stuff I wrote to you. Later today, me, someone, and someone, so it's these 3, are going to Haunted Mansion. I could only understand half of this. I want to go and overcome my fears that I can't, something, someone, and then another word that I have no idea. I miss you. With love, Noob. That's where this photo ends. You feel like something has changed somewhere you have been. And then this, I also have no idea. So that's one part. As you can see, the photo is still here. If we go over here, there's actually another little piece of paper. So instead of blood, this is actually like Spectre blood, something like that, along those lines. So let's click on this letter. You notice an open letter. Hey Sixer, it's been a while. I have no idea if this will get to you, but hopefully it does. Can we somehow meet again? I regret so many things, and recent events have made me realize some things about myself. I'm pretty sure it says I, something must be the reason _why. This is also extremely hard to read. I actually have no idea what this is all saying. Something again. The rest of the letter is unreadable. Ha 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 ha. So maybe something's going on here. The guy's going insane practically. And now it's just fully censored. Oh wow, it just goes off the screen. Well, if we look at the letter a little bit more closely, there's actually numbers here. And now this is where it gets very interesting. So every Roblox user has an ID right up here. In this case, mine is 218 and whatever, right? But if we actually replace this ID with the numbers that we saw in the letter and click enter, we will get a brand new user called Newbie. I must be the reason why. This is where it gets good, right? So if we scroll through the letter, this part, look at the name. Something must be the reason _why. And then if we go back here, it's the exact same username. This account has a game to it, a nightmare of me and Sixer. So this is of Noob and Sixer, and it says 1 out of 3. All right, so let's hop into this game. And here we are. So if you don't know what this area is, this is actually Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion's an old Roblox game. A bunch of people know exactly what this area is. And just like the letter said, Noob was going to go here with some friends. But in this case, Noob is here all alone. If we walk through, we actually see this fridge right here. And this is our first hint. What is its name? All right, let's keep moving on. And this is so cool. I really love how creepy and scary this whole game is so far. This is what Forsaken's all about. I didn't want to upset my friends, so I came along. Looks like there's a few ways we can go. We can go over there. Never mind. It looks like we can only go this way. I guess we're gonna go up the stairs now. Man, I do wish I was a little bit faster though. I never wanted to be here. I was terrified. I saw something. No, someone who looked like you. So I'm assuming this is Noob talking to Sixer, or Guest 666, whatever you want to call it. So it looks like we have a red door over here. Go there. Yeah, you see that? That's goosebumps right there. All right, so let's go to the guest. I am actually getting goosebumps. This is actually so creepy. We get closer and closer. All right, we get closer, a little bit closer. I heard you calling me, but something else took me. And then you get kicked. Teleport failed. Place ID. And it's a bunch of gibberish, but you can actually translate this. All right, hopping back into Forsaken, if we go back to the letter, there's actually a little bit more text right underneath the ID. This actually gives a hint towards how to solve that gibberish. We are now at a Vigineer cipher, whatever, I don't know however you pronounce this word. How these codes work is, of course, we put in our gibberish, but this also needs a keyword. In this case, our keyword should be Sixer, and let's put in this here, and then it will give us a brand new code: 898522569898848. All right, this time we actually have to go to a game. So for example, this is the ID for Forsaken 18 something. Let's just replace this with this brand new strip of code. Putting that in, it will teleport us to a brand new game. A realization by I must be the reason why. Of me and Noob. A realization. Open your hearts, leave them behind like you have to. And once again, this is so creepy. Do you see this? In this case, we have a few things going on. In front of us is this figure. If we look away and we go back, you're getting quite close to me, aren't you? Look away. Turn back. Oh, can I do a quick one? And once the noob gets very close by, you can actually start hearing stuff. And you do not want to touch this noob, because if you touch this noob, this is what happens. You get kicked instantly, and it says, "Why do you falter? Can you not reach your own heart?" So let's try this again. We have to find a way through the maze. We can actually see the heart a little bit over there, but there's a maze. And now we can't see Noob. Oh, that's scary. So we're gonna try and speedrun this. Hopefully Noob doesn't get to us too quickly. Hopefully this maze isn't even too bad either. I mean, if I keep looking this way, we should be fine. I wonder how fast Noob is. And yet, you turned your back on me. Left me to rot in my misery. And here's the heart. And let's touch this heart. Go, go, go. Open your heart to it. And there we go. ... Thank you. They're loafing. These emotions. It is so fascinating. She will make a fine addition. Sixer and Noob. You fuel their suffering. You add more to my ship. Your username will go here. And then you get kicked out with another code. Put the code in the exact same area with the same key. And you will get, I cannot feel my body. Why is this happening? Why did you leave me behind, Noob? And clearly from this, you can tell something is happening to Guest 666's body and it's Noob's fault. A lot has just been revealed. And that's where the ARG currently ends. The Guest 666 update is just around the corner, and we should hopefully be expecting this update in the next upcoming months. Taking a look at one of the creators of this ARG, they have to say this. So how are you guys liking the Noob and Guest 666 ARG so far? This is the first big lore drop since the Scrap Forsaken ARG, so I'm pretty anxious. Can't wait for chapter 3. In this one little Twitter post, it has now been revealed that we should be expecting one more part to this ARG to hopefully wrap up the ARG fully. If I were to take a guess, I'm assuming we're going to be getting this last part of the ARG once the actual update drops. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into theorizing. Starting off with the two games, A Nightmare and A Realization. Starting off with the first game that we got, A Nightmare, and the description of the game is of me and Sixers. So putting this together, we get A Nightmare of me and Sixer. Of me is most likely talking about Noob, so I'm assuming we're playing in Noob's perspective in this game. Now moving on to the second game, A Realization, this time description is of me and Noob. So in the A Realization game, we are definitely playing as Guest 666. But I have a feeling that both of these games are actually trying to show us how Noob and Guest 666 got sucked into Forsaken, or whatever you want to call it. Practically how the Spectre grabbed both of these characters and sucked them into the Forsaken realm. With Noob, something most likely happened in Haunted Mansion, and right before Noob got sucked into Forsaken, they had one last stream being in Haunted Mansion, and at the end they can see a creepy version of Guest 666. Meanwhile, for Guest 666, it's a lot more creepier. Being stuck in this bloody maze, and throughout the whole maze, you have a corrupted Noob screaming random gibberish at you. And after Guest 666 touches the heart, they get teleported to the Forsaken realm. Another really horrifying thing that happens to Guest 666 is that Guest 666 turns into the beast that we all know. You can tell by this text that Guest 666 is literally going through hell by changing into the monster. I think currently the story is trying to tell us how Noob and Guest 666 were two really good friends. They were really good friends to the point where they could even say that they loved each other. But something happened where the Spectre tried to grab both of them, and maybe Guest 666 was the first one to get grabbed. And Noob watched all of this happen, but because of how terrified Noob was of everything, Noob didn't help Guest 666, and Guest 666 got teleported to the Forsaken realm. But a little bit later, Noob with some friends probably went to Haunted Mansion, and after that, Noob somehow got teleported to a Nightmare realm, or whatever you want to call it, before getting teleported to Forsaken. The last part has still yet to be revealed, but I have a feeling this last part of the chapter is going to reveal what happened between the two of them and why they got selected to go into Forsaken. I don't know how accurate all of this is, but hey, this is just a little theory. A Forsaken theory. Thanks for watching.